Hello, friends. I am Daniel James. Where have I been? What have I been up to? What am I doing right now? Well, guys, let me be honest. This is my very first talking head vlogger video, and I don't really know what the formula is for these. I'm not an influencer. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm just a dude being a guy, trying to figure it out. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to catch everybody up on what I've been up to the past few months, what's going on with my YouTube channel, what I've been working on, and what's coming up. So I'm gonna stop being awkward, and we're gonna dive right in. So I am a full-time freelance videographer. I've been shooting and editing video for about 6 years. And this last summer has been probably my busiest season in my career. There's been a combination of what I do most of the time for half of the season, which is wedding videography, shooting and editing wedding videos for other companies, and also managing my own clients through our company, which is the Moment Imaging. And so a combination of doing all of these wedding videos, this is the first season that I've been editing for another company, which turned out to be a full-time job. On top of that, managing our own clients and doing other creative projects, I've been working pretty much nonstop. So since about August of this year, we were grateful and fortunate enough to fly out to Mount Shasta to film the Spirit Ambassador Retreat. This was for Brad Johnson and our friend Sue Greenwald. And if you guys are watching this, thank you very much for bringing us out. That was an amazing experience to travel, to do the work that we do and that we love. And we had some amazing experiences during that event. And I've been busy so much since then that I haven't had a chance to sort of talk about it, recap and highlight our experiences, or edit the video footage from the 10 days of shooting, which is now here in December. I'm just now getting around to actually cracking into that footage to be able to produce a lot of really cool stuff out of it. So with my work schedule as a videographer and a filmmaker being so crazy and so busy, in a positive way, I actually haven't had a lot of time to produce any of my content for this YouTube channel, which I've been so excited to do. And it's actually soul crushing in a sense, where my partner and I set out to make this YouTube channel to produce the type of content that we're passionate about. And then all of a sudden, our videography really kicked off, and I have had little to no time to invest into it. One of the projects that we've been working on for months now, which I was a co-producer on, director of photography, and the lead editor, which is Somatica. Somatica is an independent short film produced by Emily Wu, written and directed by Emily, who's a friend of mine from Buffalo. And I'm grateful that she brought me on to play the roles that I've played in this project. Not only was I able to be the camera operator and the director of photography and help produce it and edit it, but she also gave me a part in the film as well, which many of you may or may not know. I've been pursuing an acting career for pretty much my entire life since I was a little kid. Being a professional career-based actor was always one of my highest excitements. And Emily is somebody who knew that, and she cast me in projects, which is something that I was very grateful for. So I took on a lot of responsibility on this project for her to really help her bring that to life. And we are just now here in December wrapping up post-production on Somatica, and it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of grinding, but it's some of the best cinematography I've pulled off producing video the way that I like shooting in terms of being a filmmaker and a director of photography. I've got some gorgeous material on this project that I'm so proud of. And I think that all of the time and the energy that everyone is putting into getting this movie made will pay off in the end result, because I'm proud of the way it looks. I know Emily's very happy as the director. It's important to me to make sure that I'm helping her and bring her vision to life. So I'm really excited for everybody to see that. We have a trailer coming out shortly. But that project, along with some other of my regular clients in wedding season, was what really has been driving productivity away from producing original content for this YouTube channel. So I guess let's talk a little bit about the state and the status of this YouTube channel, I guess, right now. Be good. We have a couple of series. My partner Lauren and I designed a handful of projects to release on this channel that would be fundamentally regular. And like I said, not to repeat myself, but due to the crazy work schedule, we just haven't had the labor, the man hours to invest into keeping up with the regular release schedule that like YouTubers do. And I think I'm really excited about the winter coming up because our work schedule slows down a little bit in the sense that we'll have more time and energy to invest into these projects. As some of you may or may not know, I'm what's called as a channeler, which you could compare to being a medium. I have a lot of descriptions of what that means and what it looks like here on the channel. So I won't really get into the mechanics of that right now, but we had one of our projects was called Today's Guest. And what I do is I channel the consciousness of a different entity every month for that series. And that series is now matured and it's sort of wrapped here at 6 episodes. Lauren and I are very proud of the way those episodes came out. I think they're fun and creative. And as a channeler, I was bringing through energy that I don't often see channeled the way that I was doing it. I was channeling, physical beings, which 9 times out of 10, most channelers are bringing through higher density beings, higher dimensional beings that are further in their own evolution than humans are. So the fact that I'm channeling physical beings was strange and foreign for me to do. So I think that one thing that I'm most excited about that content are the particular energies that I'm working with. So if you're familiar with channeling or you're interested in checking that out, go to my playlist and check out the Today's Guest. All 6 episodes are there for free to watch. I'd love to hear what you think about those. They're kind of weird, but pretty cool. So we have reality mechanics. Now, reality mechanics was designed to be a marriage between my wherewithal as a filmmaker and an amalgamation between the concepts that I'm passionate about in terms of teaching things like metaphysics and spirit science, or what I call reality mechanics, and merging sort of my filmmaking prowess with the lecture-based content. That was the hybrid that Lauren and I sort of came up with, and I had been wanting to produce that series for almost 2 years, and every time that I came around to try to do it, something would come up and it would fall through, and we weren't able to sort of physically go into production on that. So that's probably the series and the content for this channel that I'm most excited about. At this time, it's just another one of those things that's sort of been pushed to the background and fallen to the wayside based on our production schedule for other things. As a career-based videographer, I sort of have to, work like everybody else does to generate my cost of living. And so what happens is you got to put off the passion projects, until you have free time to invest in them. And so we have 2 episodes available now. There is my introduction episode, and then there is what I call Paradox. And then the other 2 episodes of the series, the next one is called the Holographic Matrix. And I'm really excited about that episode because it's sort of an homage to the Matrix movie. However, we sort of break that down in a fun and creative way, being a little bit more scientific about that and looking at it from a more practical perspective, but using like a fun narrative style. So if I can keep my production schedule on track, I plan to release that episode at the end of January. And then the 4th episode of Reality Mechanics will be the season finale, which we're literally shooting right now as we speak. We've been breaking that production up over the course of multiple days because it takes place outside. And right now we're in that transitional period of, fall to winter where the weather is getting colder, it's starting to snow, and that makes matching certain continuities and getting all of the material that we need outside more difficult and challenging as the sun sets faster and the weather's always changing. So we've done a couple production dates on that. We've done some reshoots, and we have 2 more days. We have 2 more days of reshoots on that project to wrap it. And then if I can keep up with a regular release schedule, I'll probably put that out at the end of February. And I'm very excited about that episode because I do think it's sort of the pinnacle of marrying my filmmaking to my sort of lecture-based informational content that I produce as well. And so if anybody or my friends or family that have worked on that project are watching, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your help and for your energy and your belief in the weird shit that I'm into, and standing behind this project and helping us finish it. So for all of my audience here, all I can tell you is that the reality mechanics it's my passion project right now. It's my baby. I love it. It's getting the least amount of attention of anything that I'm doing right now in my life. However, it kind of means the most. So I'm just sort of trusting the journey on that, and we'll get it produced and released as soon as we can. Another project that we plan on keeping up a regular release schedule with is That's So Meta, which is my partner Lauren and I's baby. And I love that podcast. I love that project because it's just a podcast, very straightforward, but it's something that I feel that I can just very genuinely be myself and talk about the metaphysics and the abstract esoteric things that I'm so passionate about in a very unbridled way. I can just be me and talk about it. And Lauren is so great with the way that she prompts questions and thoughts that I riff on. I'm a big fan of that show, and I think that we had a schedule which is basically the first Friday of every month we put out a new podcast of That's So Meta. But because of our crazy work schedule the past few months, we've fallen behind a little bit on that as well. But as things are sort of shifting gears with our work schedule, I actually think not only will we be able to still put out an episode every Friday, but I think we might try to just do one bi-weekly. We were shooting the episodes at Steeltown Entertainment here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and now we have space in our apartment to sort of build a small set. And so I think that having the set local will be able to produce that series on a more productive and regular schedule, which I'm excited about. And if anybody's interested in just like weird metaphysics, that's all we talk about. Check out the playlist. We already have a ton of episodes. They vary in length. They're about an hour. A lot of what I talk about in those episodes is also covered in the Reality Mechanics show as well. They're sort of paired together. But one of them is just sort of like free flowing, and the other one is it's more scripted and narrative based. Also, if anybody does watch That's So Meta and there's a specific topic that's in sort of like the spirit science metaphysical realm that you want us to talk about, we'll do a whole episode on it. Like, send us ideas and suggestions or requests, get involved in it. It's a very collaborative project that Lauren and I are doing. And when we come up with the ideas for that show, we literally come up with the topic like a day or two before. We don't research it really. We don't make any sort of structure or anything. We only talk about stuff that we're already well versed in and that we have general understanding of, or even a more advanced sort of perspective on. And so if you want us to talk about something, we will research it or talk about what we know to the best of our knowledge. So if you have a suggestion for That's So Meta, hit us up. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't people do that? Let me talk about my other podcast. I have a second podcast that I love very much. And this project, I was approached to produce it with my partner, Garrett Jagerman. Now, Garrett was a client of mine in terms of, he was one of the very first people in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania that I did like a cold call to when I was marketing and advertising my video service. I found Garrett as a rapper here in the city, and when I was trying to sort of integrate into the community here and look for people to produce content from, Garrett was the first one in the city to say, you know what, I like your stuff. I think you're good. Let's do a music video together and see how it goes. I'd be happy to hire you. I was like, awesome. So we sat down and we talked about, a concept for his music video. And I think that it came out awesome, and it's still one of my favorite projects that I've produced for Garrett. And over the years, because I've been working for him for years and years and years, I think we've done like 7 music videos together now, which is awesome. And over that time, Garrett and I working together so well that we became friends. We developed a genuine friendship. He's a cool dude. He has a very strong business head on him. He's an entrepreneur. He's somebody who's always out there trying new things and producing content and running a business. And that's somebody that I can really resonate with. But not only in that realm, but he's also, very aware. He's conscious of a lot of things that I'm aware of as well. So Garrett had approached me to produce this podcast with him, and we called it Celestial Oddities. And basically, it's a paranormal podcast. What we do is we talk about the general esoteric, the general paranormal, anything, sci-fi, and, ghosts, alien, and cryptids, anything in that realm. Garrett and I have both had a lot of experiences on, and a passion in exploring. And so we put the show together under that theme. And one of the most exciting concepts about Celestial Oddities is that it's more community-based than That's So Meta, in the sense where it's a two-part show. So what Garrett will do is he has one part on his own that he produces where he takes calls. And what we're doing is we're collecting stories from people from all over the world via email, via Facebook, via phone call-ins, and we're collecting stories about paranormal circumstances and experiences that Garrett and I ultimately would like to sort of make a catalog, or like a legend of, like a key, so that we can start connecting the dots on a lot of these paranormal experiences that people have had, and connect those phenomenon and see what kind of tangible story and reality we can build out of that sort of esoteric aspect of life and reality. It's very fun for me. It is a little metaphysical. I think that, metaphysics being a total part of my being, it's woven into my makeup. A lot of my side and what I bring to Celestial Oddities is still very metaphysical, but Garrett's very open to that. He's very accepting and comfortable with that content, and I think that he's more of the researcher of the show, who really goes out there, does the book work, hits the cement, and he collects data on the topics that we discuss, and then I bring my metaphysical understanding to them. And I think that as a team, we really sort of create an interesting show. So I will link Celestial Oddities in the About section here, and you can watch all those episodes for free, listen to them rather. We have a place that all of the episodes are streaming, and they're titled by the topic of the show. So I'd love for you guys to check that out. Let me know what you think. Garrett and I have a lot of plans for Celestial Oddities. We're going to start doing events. We might start getting tables at conventions. I know that Garrett's starting to do paranormal investigating now, which is cool. And we have plans for this to grow and expand. So it's definitely something that I'm invested in, something that I enjoy doing and I'm excited about. And I would love for you guys to check it out. Celestial Oddities. Hit us up. So moving on, there were some amazing experiences that we had as a group in Mount Shasta at the Spirit Ambassador Retreat. Now, I have been meaning to do a dedicated video on this topic for months and months and months. Once again, haven't had any time, don't have much of a life outside of work, a little bit of a workaholic. And I now have a small window in my editing schedule to produce some more content like this. And I got a video coming out that will totally capture the experiences that we had in Mount Shasta with the Sasquatch people. That's right, you heard that correct. I personally had 5 days, 5 nights of regular reoccurring interactions with the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch species. Or if you have seen today's guest, another term that they go by is the Kondune. So yes, we met Bigfoot. I know that's weird, but if you go to Redding, if you go to Mount Shasta, there is, the locals there have a Bigfoot day where they told me that there are so many sightings of Sasquatch in Mount Shasta that they are honored and recognized as a local community members in the area. So we had sightings, we had encounters. It was amazing. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I'm going to do a whole dedicated video about that topic specifically. And that video is going to be coming out here very shortly after this one. I might even just go ahead and link it somewhere. I don't know how to YouTube, but by the time you see this, it might be linked somewhere here. And it's awesome. It really is. Not only am I going to talk about the experiences, but I literally captured audio recordings of one of the Sasquatch that was spending a lot of time outside of our house. It's really cool. I promise you, it will be worth your time to check out. So getting back into a little bit of, what I'm all about, what I'm doing. Like I mentioned, I'd been pursuing a professional acting career for the better part of my entire life. And I had gone through some really unique challenges over the past few months in pursuit of my professional acting career. And I've actually chosen to take a step back from it. And that's not me saying that I quit or that I'm giving up or anything like that, but I have been grinding at this professional career for years without what we call as the big break, or that cherry gig that sets you aside, get your foot in the door in a sense. That's never happened to me. I've done a gazillion independent films. I've produced 20 trillion of my own projects and act in them, and I love doing that very much. I actually find the most power there. But speaking in terms of like pursuing a professional career, I've taken a step back a little bit from that because I wanted to, continue producing my own content and get into more sort of offering different types of services also as a content creator. And that sort of broaches me into a couple new announcements. I will actually be offering 3 services that are going to be one-on-one sessions that I'm really excited to teach. I'm really excited to do with you and to experience and to teach. And I'm going to say teach one more time. I'm really excited to teach and offer these services. And I'm going to make specific videos about those. And they will be included on my new website that I'm building right now. But the 3 services that I'm going to be doing here towards the middle and the second half of the winter is I'm going to be offering channeling sessions. That's one-on-one channeling sessions with the being that I channel Hermes, or under certain circumstances, I can work with other entities as well on a person-to-person, case-per-case basis. It just depends on what and who people would like to interact with through myself as a channel, and that will be a service that I'm going to be offering full-time, actually. A second service that I'm really excited to be offering is when I went through the Spirit Ambassador retreat with Sue and Brad in Mount Shasta, not only were we the full-time videographers capturing that whole 10-day retreat, but we were also certified in teaching what's called as the EQ method. Now, I'm not going to go too much into what that is in this video because I'm going to make another dedicated video about that, but it's a healing process that Brad teaches. We actually took days and days and days over classrooms and actually physically going through what the EQ method is as a healing practice. And it was transformative for me when I went through it, and when I did it for Lauren, and when I did it with some of the other students who went through the certification as well. I can say that it works, it feels good, it's exciting, and it's definitely a journey into the self to discover some things about you that you didn't know were there that need healing or need releasing, or just positive things that you really actually can look at from a more, from a deeper perspective. It's transformative. It's awesome. It feels really good. And so I will make a specific video about the EQ method, and that will be a one-on-one service that I'll be offering as well. And I'm really excited about getting started with people on that. The third service that I'm going to be offering is my own specific meditation technique. Now, that might sound a little basic to you, like, come on, Dan, everybody knows how to meditate. Honestly, you'd be surprised how many people get a hold of me privately, send me emails or Facebook messages, and they ask me how I meditate or how I get into the channeling state. The most common thing that I hear from people in the community is that they have a hard time shutting their brain off. They have a hard time finding solace. They have a hard time sitting still. They have a hard time connecting to spirit. So when I started getting into this conscious journey of not just meditation, but channeling and, the journey of the soul, I read a book by Jane Roberts called Seth Speaks. And that was one of my entry points into the channeling phenomenon. But in the book, Seth teaches a type of meditation technique that's also a manifesting technique. And I used it to get into an altered brainwave frequency, an altered state. And then from that point, I expanded on it and started adding my own elements to it and making it a little bit more custom to the way that I respond to things. And through that method that I learned from the Seth material and then redesigned myself, that's when I started literally channeling my own spirit guides. I was able to openly communicate directly to my council, you know, my support team, our guides as we call them. And I could have open conversations with them, almost as conscious as you and I could talk in person. That's how I can communicate to spirit, through this specific meditation technique that I designed myself from the Seth material. And that was the gateway, that was the bridge into verbal channeling, was this particular method that I use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer one-on-one techniques and training on this specific method that I use myself to get into the altered channeling states, or just altered brainwave states. And you can talk to your spirit guides there. You can connect to dead relatives. You can channel extraterrestrials, higher density beings, higher dimensional beings. You can get information from spirit. Basically, it takes you into the self by altering the hertz frequency, the vibrational frequency of your brainwaves. It's very scientific. It's also very simple once you learn how to do it. So based on how many times people have asked me how I meditate or how I learned how to channel, this is how I did it. And I'm going to be walking people through that step by step over, you know, private sessions. So I'm really excited about that. I'll do a video on it. Check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. So what else? Life, you know? I can tell you that Somatica will be releasing very soon. I don't know exactly in what way we're going to distribute that project or how it's going to release, but I know that it is a project specifically curated for Emily's schooling. So I imagine it will be free to watch. We might put it on Vimeo or YouTube as soon as it's ready, and I'm feeling that that'll be done here sometime within January. So please look out for the Somatica trailer. I'd love for you guys to see my work. Like I said, that project has a lot of energy into it, a lot of time and labor investment, and I'm proud of it. I want you to see it. It's darker, okay? So, you know, be ready for that sort of, if you like psych thrillers, it's very much of a psych thriller in a sense. Check it out. Lauren and I with the Moment Imaging are also traveling to Orlando, Florida in January. I can't tell you how exciting that is. Things went so well with Brad and Sue in the Mount Shasta experience that they have brought us back out again. And we are the official videographers to film a lot of the live sessions that are taking place at that particular event in Florida. If anybody lives in Florida or you're local, you want to check it out, I will post some links here somewhere. I am so awkward because I don't know how to YouTube. We'll have some sort of advertisement for that where Lauren and I will be present, and I can also tell you that the content that the speakers are going to be covering is really cool. It's really exciting. It's cutting edge stuff. So if you're into disclosure, if you're into ascension, if you're into extraterrestrials, like you really want to get in with this community. I'm integrated in it heavily. I'm not leaving it. I'm developing more and more of a presence within it. So I really love for you guys to check that event out. If you can be there, that'd be awesome. You know, let's high five, check it out. What else? Reality Mechanics, it's on the way. I love it. I hope you guys like it. It's a lot of work. I do 90% of the post-production myself. I do all the editing, I do the music. Lauren helps me sort of prep the projects, and every once in a while I may or may not outsource some visual effects, but that's my baby, guys. It's coming. Just be patient about it, and I'm really excited for you to see it. We're also working on getting some websites made because like everybody needs a website. So I'm making a Daniel James website where I'll be offering all of my services from. And then we're also making a Moment Imaging website for our video service. And our schedule is going to be freeing up here towards the second half of the winter. So if you're looking for some video editing or you're looking for full-scale video production, that's what Lauren and I do. Hit us up, check us out. Like, comment, subscribe. I might have a really big announcement coming very soon. I'm not going to do that super whack thing where people go on their social media and they're like, hey, have a really big announcement coming soon, but can't talk about it yet. Stay tuned. Like, I'm not doing that until I have 100% confirmation that it is a reality. I'm gonna wait, but I might have a big announcement coming soon that would be a total career-changing opportunity for me, which I couldn't be more excited about. Like, you know, when you're pursuing an acting career the way that I have been, and you're hitting like a lot of challenges, you sort of acknowledge that resistance, and you take a step back, and you let it breathe, and you focus your energy on different things when you're getting resistance. And just as I decided to do that, I'm seeing all of these doors open in other directions where synchronicities are aligning for really cool things to happen. So we'll see, you know, just stick with me, and thank you for your patience if you are one of the 130 people that are subscribed to my YouTube, which is cool. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you very much. I've been umming and awing for about 30 minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead and dip. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm out. So thank you for being here and for listening to me ramble. What do people say? I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. I hate saying that, but like, that's what we do, I guess. Listen, thanks.